Oh, we are live at 11:05. We're rushing around, but we decided we're going to do some door stuff today, so we're going to talk about door guts. It's a Model A. I'm BC. This is Spirit Cars. We're live at 11:05. Josh, the voice of Spirit Cars, is behind the camera there. And you haven't been doing much color here lately. We've been kind of quiet. John, in case you didn't get my message, we showed a turnkey that we're getting ready to fire up yesterday. And my life is already so full of drama. We were going to do the initial fire up live and the whole thing, but I think what we're going to do either tomorrow or I'm going to be at a NASCAR race on Friday. If we don't get to it tomorrow, we'll do it Monday. We're going to have the motor we're going to have it fired up, we're going to have the break-in done, and I'll just go over a break-in on a new motor. So that'll be on John's car. It's looking pretty tight. It's looking good. But today what we'll talk about is it's just the inside of a door, and this is a Model A, and a lot of them are similar. And here we got Ed. I got Ed rushing around getting me some parts. You going to unwrap that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ed's making the door topper. On a Model A, if you're not familiar with it, on the original Model A and on ours also, the glass goes in from the top of the door. So we've got aluminum channels here. Once we have our aluminum channels made, after it's painted we put these in, but you've got these window fuzzies here. It's not exactly called window fuzzies, I don't know what I call it, but window channel stuff.
Yeah, just
it's the window channel stuff. I cut a glass.
You got your yellow book?
The yellow book. There's a yellow book here. Yeah, we've been missing our thought of the day. So it slides in from the top on the Model A. So you can see the window going down. Now it's going to come in to see these holes here. Once I push this up, this is the window slider. These are rubber gaskets on both sides. That window will slide into there. Gets loosened up. That one's a little bit tight, but it'll slide into that. There's nuts on the back of it, and you can see where I've got my finger up here. Once it's raised up to there, you can get a socket in there and tighten that down. And again, in this window regulator, it comes with a bolt in here. Now, they're not all the same, but this one does. Make sure you take that bolt out, because otherwise this is solid. Once the bolt is out, it will slide a little bit like that back and forth. So the glass is in. You're done, you're ready, everything's clean. It gets a door top on a Model A. We'll put the same felt in there. Then it goes on top of it here and just screws in from the top side. So that finishes your window. It don't get no more easy than that on a Model A. Now if we're going to do a 32 or a 34, the window is rounded. So you'll look at the top of the window, it's rounded like this, and you cannot put it in from the top. So what you'll have to do, there'll be a hole in the door, and with the minimum amount of clearance on our cars, again, I'm giving everything reference to a Spirit car, you can get that window in from the top, through the side, after your outside skin is on, get it placed into the thing, get it up into the channel, push it past the track. We still use the same kind of a window regulator. Drop it into that space, and you'll see that. We'll do a future show of installing that window, because it is a little tricky, and you can see that. Key to putting your window regulator in, you want this to be parallel to your aluminum channels, whether the glass is down here or whether it's up here. Because if this is moving in and out very much, there's a real good chance that you're going to put pressure in this area in the glass and break the glass. Again, there's a rod that comes down, the spiral rod, but it has to go somewhere as the window comes down, so it comes up, and we've got that mounted behind the channel here. We have hidden hinges on this one. You can see they come through. You need to make sure that your bolts are not too long, that they might scratch the glass. That's just FYI if you're doing that. We use a bear claw latch on our door. We have this one installed. Simple, clean, that's the essence of hot rodding. So So all we do is we weld a nut, or a bolt on the inside of the latch off and put a little knob on there, very clean looking, works fine. This particular car is going to have door poppers. We can do it with an outside door handle. Oh, this has suicide doors also. Sort of unusual for Model 8. Model 8 generally opens from this side, but this particular customer wanted suicide doors. So we've got our door popper. Back in the day, you'd just go scrounge a door lock or something off a car, but now everything's in a kit. We buy a kit. We put the door popper in. You can see up in here, we've welded the bolt on here, and I drilled a hole on the arm. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to mount the door popper here at a little bit of an angle. The rod will come through it, it'll loop, and we'll tie it together there. Now, we have a handle design. It's just a pivot. It will go down here. With a bolt in here, you can cut this rocker off, but you can reach under the door, and as you pull this around, it will pull the cable down. Now, the cable is going to be attached to your door popper. We'll also have a second cable that comes up and ties in right about here that will come down and tie in to your door handle. That way, if you ever have some kind of electrical problem or for some reason your button doesn't work on the popper, you can still access and get into the car. So if you plan on stealing a Spirit car that doesn't have door handles, now you know the secret for getting into your Spirit car. At this point, we're ready to glue the door skin on. We like to get all the inside done first. I had a question last time we were talking about doors, if this unbolts. Yes, this does unbolt. There's 1, 2, 3 screws or bolts, and there'd be one bolt over here. So you can unbolt this, take it apart if you have a problem with your window regulator. If you have a problem with your window regulator, it's probably going to be your motor. This motor on this particular window regulator is replaceable. They don't sell the motor separate, but you can buy another kit and just take the motor off and put it on the regulator. You can see in the door, I don't have any openings here, but there's no reason I can't. I'll put one up here so I can access this from the back side. Don't cut all the structure out. Don't cut the structure out around your window regulator, but if you do need to access it to get to the motor or something like that, it's pretty obvious where the bolts are. Don't cut out the bolt areas. But if I cut a big square right here to access inside my door, it's not going to hurt the structure of the car, and it will give you access to the inside if you happen to need that. We don't cut it out because at this point I don't need access to the inside of the door. One more thing, and again, I try to reference everything according to Spirit, but the world doesn't work according to the life of Spirit. There's a lot of ways to do a hot rod, whether you've got an original car or another manufacturer's body. There's no one right way. I mean, there are some absolute wrong ways to do things, but there's no one right way. So just because I say it doesn't make it the gospel. These are door. They'll make the connection in your door. The white button is for when you push it, it breaks the connection for your dome light. And when they come together, they make a connection. I've got door poppers and I've got electric windows. If you're wanting your window to have a button for the right side of the window on your left side also, you're going to need five of them. It'll take 3 wires. But we generally just use one button for each side. So you'll have a window button and you'll have a window button on the other door. We sometimes may put them in the console so you can reach overhead to do it. A lot of times we'll just put it on the door. A Model A is a pretty narrow car compared to a modern car, so it is not very hard to reach across if you want to put your window down. And so you can do it either way. This one's going to get, the button will be on the door, I'm assuming, or maybe in the console, but it'll be on the door. Since it's suicide, I'm going to have this on the back side here, so it's going to go here. Once your door's on, fitted, everything's good. Can you get a short picture of the back side of this? So if you can get in here. You can kind of see we've got a metal reinforcement here, but we're aware that we need to put these contactors in, so we cut out the metal right here so I don't have to make a big project out of it when I go to put this in. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to close my door. I have a nice angle drill. I'll start by marking these two holes in the front where they go. So I'll mark the two holes where it screws in. Make sure they hit in my opening in the back. Now that I have two holes here, what I can do, take my angle drill from the back side, drill through those two same holes, be as parallel as I can, and I'll drill into the door. That'll give me my location holes for these on the other side. What I can do at that point, these usually have, I believe this one's got it. You can either make a pattern, but this has patterns you can cut out for the different sizes. Patterns are always a good thing, whether they come with the directions or not. You can always make one out of tape. It's a good way to make a pattern. So anyway, today's Live at 11:05 is all about putting the door together. And if I was going to say we got a tip, the biggest time-saving tip that I showed you today, if you get anything else out of it, running that screw through the door here. That's going to line everything up. That's going to save you a ton of time. It'll be, I mean, as long as you can make a straight line, a parallel 90 degree to the inside there, you're going to be spot on every time, and it won't give you any problems. Josh just handed me my book. This one is, we got the Coffee Break Contemplations. I don't remember the name of the other one. He's got two books. This is by the Hot Rod Man, Ernie Gilcrease. You can get this on Amazon, I'm sure. I don't know if anybody's ordered it. I'm gonna have to ask him if anybody's done that. Okay, I'm gonna use this one. Kind words and deeds are like happy children. They will create happiness long after we are gone. So, I hope you all have a great day. Tomorrow, I'm hoping we're going to fire or see John's car. We're going to do a motor, a break-in, kind of the tips on breaking in a motor. We'll do that. If I don't do that tomorrow, we'll show something else. I won't be with you Friday. I'm going NASCAR up in Chicagoland. If I'm up there in time, we're going to be in the pits, so I may do a live at 11:05 from the pits, or I may be in the car. I don't know if we're going to make Thursday night race or not. We'll be there for Friday's race. I may be on the road to get there, though. So for today, y'all have a good day.